Hello, my name is Anna and I'm here to guide you through a 30-minute yoga flow. The only props that you will need today is a yoga mat and a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can always just use a belt, a long belt or a long scarf that you have. So we'll just put that off to the side till we use it later during our flow. When you are ready, unroll your mat and let's get started. So you can start in an easy seated pose if you prefer, or you can start in child's pose. So in child's pose, we're going to come to our knees and bring our knees out as wide as we comfortably can. If you want to try child's pose, you can always put a towel or a blanket underneath your knees. So we're sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to walk our fingertips forward and let our forehead come all the way down to the mat. Okay, so when you're in child's pose, you just want to melt yourself onto the mat. So if you're feeling tension, either in your neck, or your shoulders, or your knees are really bothering you, maybe child's pose is not for you at this moment. So then you just want to come to an easy, seated, comfortable pose. So together, let's take a deep inhale, filling up the belly, opening the mouth, and exhaling out. Try that again. So deep inhale, maybe you pause at the top for a second or two. Exhale and let it out. Breath in and breath out. Take a few more rounds of inhales and exhales, matching the length of your inhale to the length of your exhale. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and let that stale air out. After you've taken a few rounds of breath this way, I'd like you to try Ujjayi breathing. Excuse me. So what that is we seal up our lips. We inhale through the nose. With the lips sealed, we exhale through the nose. So inhale, lips sealed, and exhale, lips sealed. Keep going with the Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, lips sealed, and exhale, lips sealed. See how that feels. If you can keep that Ujjayi breathing going during your practice here, that's perfectly fine. If you feel like maybe you're congested or you're getting a little winded and you need to open mouth and exhale, that's perfectly fine. When you are ready, let's all come to a tabletop. So we're bringing our wide, spread out fingertips, palms on the mat, wrists, elbows, and shoulders in a straight line, flat back, knees are right under the hips. On the inhale, we're going to drop our belly as our gaze goes up, cow pose. Exhale, curl the spine, tuck your chin into your chest, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. So we never stop breathing. We never hold our breath during our yoga practice. Take these movements as slow and as exaggerated as you need them to be. We're just starting to warm up the spine, wake up the body, and see how everything is feeling. A few more rounds of cat and cow here, and we'll come to stillness. On your next inhale, let's reach that left arm forward, right foot back. So you can have the right foot floating off the mat, or you can have your toes down. This is a bit of a balance challenge here, so focus on one little object out in front of your mat. Take a breath in, breath out, inhale, and exhale. One more breath in and release your hand and leg. Take another round of cat and cow and come to stillness. On your next inhale, extending the left leg and the right arm forward, remembering you can always bring your left toes to the mat. If you have both your hand and your foot floating off the mat, take a moment and make sure that your hip bones are leveled off and you're not like raising one side higher than the other. Breathe in, breathe out. Your next inhale, go ahead and place everything back down to the mat. Take one more round of cow pose, cat pose, and when you're ready, curl your toes, raise your hips nice and high, pressing back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, go ahead, bend into your knees, pressing your palms into the mat, pushing the mat away from you, letting your chest reach a little bit further back towards the tops of your thighs here. You can come up to the toes, you can drop both heels, bend both knees, whatever works for you. Again, down dog, the first down dog here especially is where we start to warm up, check in with our body, see what everything is feeling like today. And then come to stillness in your down dog. On your next inhale, look towards your hands, bend into your knees, and step towards the front of your mat. Come to a halfway lift as you inhale. So we get that flat back, collarbones are reaching forward, and our fingertips are just resting on our shins or the tops of our thighs. As you exhale, fold forward. Grabbing opposite elbows with your hands, make that little frame for your head. Let your head and neck hang loose and heavy. Keep a gentle bend in your knees. Maybe the weight comes a little bit closer to the balls of your feet. Once you're here in ragdoll, take an opportunity in this forward fold to just move a little bit. Maybe sway side to side or make a figure eight with your elbows. Your hamstrings are probably starting to talk to you just a little bit here today. And when you're ready, release your hands to the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Soften both knees and slowly roll up. Head comes up last. Fingertips reach for the sky, mountain pose. Exhale and fold. Nice and slow. Halfway lift, inhale. Remember never to press on your knees. Exhale and fold. Soften the knees and roll up. Fingertips reaching high. This time, maybe we grab that imaginary beach ball that's between our hands and we willow to the right. Inhale back to center and willow to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold as you exhale. One more time, soften the knees and roll up. Reaching high, higher than last time in your mountain pose. Grab that beach ball and willow to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, willow to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale and fold. Come to a halfway lift as you inhale. Plant your hands in the mat and step back to a high plank. So palms are pressing into the mat, wrists directly under shoulders. You have a flat back. Your tailbone comes down just a little bit lower. Your belly button pulls up tight towards the back of your spine, flexing back through your heels. If this is a bit of a strain for you, you can always modify your plank by dropping your knees. Your knees stay behind your hips and your core is still active. Your abs are strong, pulling the belly button towards your back to protect your lower back. Taking one more breath in your plank, and your tailbone lifts you up, hips pull back, downward facing dog. So if your down dog ever starts to bother your wrists, make sure you step your feet forward. Just one little step will help you pull your hips back and get all the tension out of your wrists. On the inhale, come up to your toes. Exhale, drop your heels. On your next breath, look towards your hands and step to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. I'm going to demonstrate chair pose. So I'm going to bring my big toes to touch. My knees are touching, and I'm going to slowly roll up and sit back in my chair. So when I'm in chair pose, your hips are reaching back, and then tuck your tailbone under. You don't have to go super low if that causes your tailbone to jut out. Arms can reach high, or hands can come to heart center. Take a breath in and sink a bit. If this is bothering your knees, you can have that small space between both legs. Breath in, breath out. One more breath in and fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your hands in the mat, step back to high plank as you exhale. So you're either taking your traditional high plank or your modified high plank on your knees. Either way, we're all going to hinge forward just a little bit and then come all the way down to the mat. Chest is on the mat. Palms are pressed into the mat right under your shoulders. On the inhale, just raise your chest up off the mat. Cobra pose. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, fold. Everybody come back to your knees. Push up to high plank and press back downward facing dog. Inhale up to your toes. Exhale, drop your heels. On your next breath, look towards your hands, soften your knees, and walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold, exhale. Soften your knees and slowly roll up, mountain pose. Hands come to heart center. Now we're going to keep our left foot grounded in the mat. We're going to raise our right knee and step back to high lunge. Okay, so we're putting a generous bend in this front knee, but never letting it pass the foot. Back leg is reaching back and you're off the back heel. Torso is centered right over your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale and exhale. One more breath in. We're going to turn all 10 toes towards the right side of our mat. Toes are reaching the two corners of the room. Arms are spread out wide towards the two ceiling corners of the room. You're in your 5-point star. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, reach wider as you exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to turn both heels in and we're going to sink down into our hips, goddess. Okay? I'm going to turn and face you. So in your goddess, your heels are in, toes are out, tall spine, and then we sink down. Again, if your tailbone is jutting out, come up a little bit and tuck the tailbone under. You can have your hands at heart center, or you can do what we call cactus arms, just holding strong in your goddess here. So set it up. If you're feeling pretty comfortable, pretty confident, pretty strong, maybe sink down a little more. So join me if you'd like. We're going to take 10 tiny pulses. So we're going to squeeze down and squeeze up. Squeeze down and up, slow and strong for 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to that 5-point star. Take an inhale, open warrior 2 as you exhale. So front toes facing the front of the mat, back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, hips are facing the left-hand side, and your arms are teed out nice and wide. Breath in and sink. Inhale and exhale. Flip your front palm over, reverse your warrior as you inhale. So we're reaching up and over behind us, never caving the chest forward. Take a breath in, let it out. One more inhale, and we're going to make a big windmill with our arms and bring them back down to the mat, stepping back to high plank, either your traditional high plank or modify to your knees. Everybody, hinge forward and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Tops of the feet press in the mat. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale, lower your chest. One more time, cobra. And release. Curl your toes. Meet me back in high plank and downward facing dog. So take a breath in, up to the toes. Exhale, drop your heels. On your next inhale, look forward, bend into your knees, and walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Soften your knees and slowly rise up, mountain pose. Hands come to heart center. On your next inhale, raise your left knee up, step back to high lunge. So here we are again. Set it up. Make sure that front knee never passes the foot. Strong through the back leg. Back heel is lifted. You can always bring your hands to heart center if your shoulders are starting to get a little cranky here. Breath in. Sink. Breath out. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath in, and we twist open to the left side of your mat, 5-point star. So toes are reaching the floor corners, arms and hands are reaching towards the ceiling corners, 5-point star. Breath in, breath out. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, turn your heels in and sink back down into that goddess, right? So take a second to set it up. Round 2 here. So maybe you're going to get that tailbone a little bit lower without jutting it back. Maybe you need to stay a little bit more upright. You do what works best for your body. You can have your hands at heart center again, or bring them out to a goal post, cactus arms. There's so many names for this. Keeping that spine tall. Breath in and breath out. This time, if you're joining me, I would like everybody to come to cactus arms. With a tall spine, we're going to bring that right elbow to the right knee and back to center. Left elbow, left knee, back to center. So you see where we're going with this, right? So modify to your ability. Tap to the right, tap to the left. 4, 8 more. And 7, 6. You can keep going or just hold in your goddess pose for as long as you want. We got 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Open up into that 5-point star again. Take an inhale, warrior 2 as you exhale. We were here before. Set it up, modify to your own needs. Breath in, breath out. Inhale and exhale. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior, and then windmill those hands all the way around, back to your high plank. Modify to your knees if you need. On your next inhale, let's hinge forward, and everybody lowers all the way down to the mat. Come up for cobra, and release it down. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale, release it down. Curl your toes, push up to your high plank, and downward facing dog. Inhale up to your toes. Exhale, drop your heels. On your next breath, look towards your hands, soften your knees, and slowly walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Bring your big toes to touch. Slowly roll up, coming back to that chair pose. Breath in, breath out. Inhale and sink. One more breath in and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your hands in the mat. Step back to high plank as you exhale. So traditional high plank or modify, hold it strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing dog. Step your feet forward just a little bit so you're out of your wrists. And your inhale, see if you can raise your right leg up. Bend your right knee and turn open. Stack those hips. Look under that right arm. Get a nice stretch through that hip. Maybe twirl your ankle. Straighten the right leg and set it down. Inhale, left leg goes up. Bend your left knee. Look under your right arm. Stack your hips open. Maybe twirl your ankle in one direction and the other. Straighten that left leg and set it down. On your next breath, we'll look towards your hands. Come to your knees and have a seat. If you need a moment to take a drink, take a little break, you can do that anytime you want during our practice. We're down on the mat now. We're going to do a few stretches to close out our practice. So this is where we want that strap. Have it right where you can reach it in case you're going to need it. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Kind of wiggle your hip bones back and forth so that you're kind of evened off on your sit bones. So we're going to take our left knee, plant the left foot in the mat, bring our left knee into our chest. Left hand rests behind you on the mat. Inhale that right arm up and tuck it to the outside of your left knee. Inhale and sit up nice and tall. Maybe turn a little bit more towards the left. Breathe in. Twist a little bit more to the left. Breathe in again. And exhale. Release this side. Bring that right foot to the mat. Hug that right knee into the chest. Right hand goes behind you on the mat. Inhale, left arm up. Tuck it to the outside of your right knee. Inhale as you sit up tall. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Release this side. Slowly help yourself all the way down to the mat, flat on your back. So bringing both feet to the mat, knees are bent. Grab a hold of that strap. This is where you can use it if you feel that you need to. So we're going to raise that right leg up, cross right ankle over left knee. And then you're going to lift both legs up over your hips. So you can stop right here. Just help that right knee open out a little bit more. Or you can loop your strap behind your left thigh. Grab a hold, one end of the strap in each hand, and then pull both legs closer towards your chest. If you feel that you don't need the strap for this, you can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and bring both legs in. You want to keep your feet flexed. This is going to protect your knees. And you're going to help that right knee open out to the side with your right elbow. You're going to feel a nice deep stretch through that right hip. When you're ready, release your legs. Other side. So raise the left leg, left ankle over right knee. Decide if you're using the strap or just interlacing your fingers behind that right thigh. So draw the legs up. Flex both heels. Push that left knee out a little bit further towards the side and just keep drawing both legs towards your chest. This is your reclined figure 4. At some point we can do this standing It's not only a hip opener, but it's a balance challenge when we do this standing, but it feels so good in the hips. Taking one more breath and release. So let's tee out our arms, bring our feet into a tabletop position. So we have a 90-degree angle in our legs here, right? Knees over hips, feet are flexed out to the side. We're going to take a gentle roll towards the right. Your gaze is over the left hand, trying to keep that left shoulder grounded. If you want to deepen this stretch, you can rest your hand on top of both of your knees. Another great hip stretcher. Rolling back to center, tabletop those legs again, and both knees go to the left. Your gaze goes to the right. Right shoulder stays grounded. You could stay right here, or rest your left hand on top of your knees to deepen this stretch. Rolling back to center. Let's flex our feet up towards the ceiling, okay? And then draw your knees towards your rib cage and then towards the outer sides of your rib cage. You can grab a hold behind your knees or reach through and grab a hold of the bottoms of your feet and then try to draw those knees closer towards the mat, keeping your lower back on the mat. So here we are in our dead bug. If you are able to roll around, give that lower back a little bit of a massage on the mat, that's perfectly fine. When you're ready, release your feet. Keep those knees in the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and squeeze those knees a little closer. Bring your forehead up into your knees. Squeeze everything tight. Close your eyes. Happy baby yoga ball. And release everything. So we're going to set up for one final resting pose. And this is whatever you want it to be. So you can have your arms and legs just opened as wide as is comfortable for you. Maybe you want to just hug yourself, crossing your arms over your chest, or maybe they rest at your side, palms facing up. Just get comfortable here. Close your eyes. Take a big deep inhale like we did at the beginning of class. Let it out. Welcome to your Shavasana. So just rest here for a few minutes. Just keep your mind clear. Keep all outside noises away, off your mat, out of your mind. Just for a few breaths. You can stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Just acknowledging that you spent 30 minutes with me, thinking about yourself, doing something positive for yourself, energizing your mind, your body, and your soul for just 30 minutes. Feeling refreshed and renewed, able to go on, go about your business, stronger and more motivated than when you stepped on your mat half an hour ago. You can stay here as long as you like, or if you want, draw your knees into your chest and roll onto whichever side is more comfortable for you. Resting your head on your lower arm. This is your fetal pose. We call this the pose of new beginning. This is where you begin anything you like over again. Hit the reset button and start fresh and new. When you're ready, help yourself back up to a seated position, cross-legged, on your knees, whatever works for you, sitting up nice and tall. Taking a few final closing breaths, we're going to inhale our arms up, exhale out. Don't be afraid to make some noise. Inhaling, arms up, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and let it go. Please always remember that the light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Together we are all amazing yogis, sharing this world together, trying to navigate the pitfalls of daily ins and outs. Let's bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye center, bow forward, and seal our practice by wishing one another Namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video.